Hi, good morning, everybody. Eva Medalek here, your high performance coach. And today I want to talk about your mental and emotional energy. A lot of times we focus on our physical energy, not being tired, not being exhausted, having physical strength and stamina. But your mental and emotional energy have a lot to do with your performance outcomes and how you show up in your personal and professional life on a daily basis. Not enough is said about the effects that stress in your life have on your mental and emotional energy. And so, learning ways where you can not only reduce stress, but manage stress, overwhelm, and burnout is important as well. But also your emotional energy. I just finished coaching a group of clients around having emotionally charged conversations. Like, what do you do when conversations that you have present a charge that has you experience anger, frustration, disappointment, defensiveness, all of those emotions, right? That can really um, impact, if you will, your performance outcomes. Just because you have the emotion doesn't mean you need to be the emotion. So, how can you have emotional intelligence? Personal development and emotional intelligence is really important in high performance and success. And most high performers have learned how to make rational business decisions that aren't based on emotion. I once had a business coach talk about what did she say? Your emotional business management. And I know a lot of people manage their businesses, their personal lives, their professional lives based on the emotions that come up for them. And a lot of those emotions have surfaced because of assumptions and inferences, assumptions we make about the intent of another person or the intent of the conversation or the team or your boss or who else or the leaders, your managers, your associates, whatever that looks like in your business, or the intent of other people, of your coach, if you will. And so, how can you manage your emotional intelligence? How can you manage your mental energy? And I am going to give you a tip for that. You want to manage your assumptions. Most of our emotions are based on assumptions of what another person means when they say things that charge us emotionally. We have emotion triggered around their intent, their meaning, what we assume they're thinking about us, what we assume they know about us. And so, how can you? Oh, I forget the name of the guy who um, created this ladder of inference, ladder of assumption, if you will. How can you stay low on the ladder and gather just the facts, like in Dragnet, just the facts, man? Gather information that has you become curious before getting furious. Curious instead of furious. Curious instead of furious. And the most powerful way to do that is when you're in a conversation or a communication that is emotionally charged, is to number one, take a breath. All right. Take a breath before you react, before you defend, before you try to fix. Just take a breath, excuse me. Take a breath and then repeat what that person has shared with you. And your tone is important as well. For example, if someone says that, you're a little aggressive in how you communicate with the team, Of course, you're going to want to defend your communication style, right? Well, what if you were to just take a breath and say to this other person, so let me get this straight. You're saying that you feel that I'm aggressive in my communication style with the team. Did I get that right? Yes, I notice you're being aggressive. And so instead of going straight to defending yourself, I'm not aggressive. This is how I talk and I get work done or whatever comes up for you. Another approach would be to ask that other person, what examples do you have of my communication style that have you believe I'm being aggressive? How am I being aggressive? Let's get curious. Let's get specific. Tell me more about that. What makes you think that my communication style is aggressive? And then you can hear that other person share a specific example or give you more information about where they're getting their assumptions from. Let's put it that way, where they are informing their decision in asking you to tone down how aggressive you are. And once you have that information, then you can have your advocacy, if you will. So you might be able to explain, well, that particular incident that you're talking about happened because maybe I had repeatedly told this person over and over and over to do something and they just weren't listening. And so my tone became more strong and aggressive. So that's a possibility. Or you can share, this is my tone and this is what I do. So you can actually share your point of view, if you will. But another twist that I think a lot of people miss in their communication is to ask another question. Like, what would you feel, or what do you think is a more effective way for me to communicate? Let me hear your thoughts on that. And then you're more into a dialogue and you're more into being open instead of having that stress that comes up being defensive or trying to explain yourself. And, feedback is hard in general, feedback is hard to take because we all want to be right. And I get it. But sometimes you just get some really, really valuable information from what people see on the outside that you may not be able to see because you're inside your box, you're inside the jar, and you can't read what's outside the label when you're in the inside. And so, my point in sharing the emotional and mental energy with you is that when you are a place of defensiveness, frustration, reactiveness, it takes away from the quality of your performance outputs, the quality of your performance outcomes. But when you can step back and practice listening, practice acknowledging by sharing back what you heard the person say and getting curious to get more information about what they've noticed, what they think could be done better, or even make a proposal. Well, here's what I think we should do so that da 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 can happen. It increases the quality of your performance output. And that's what high performers do. High performers get curious before they get furious. And I'm not saying all successful people, because we all know a lot of successful people who, are yellers and screamers and they don't hear other opinions and they are still successful. But if you want to increase the quality of your performance and your performance outputs and outcomes to be intentional, inclusive, and be able to gather information to help you learn and grow, this is what I recommend for you. Because your emotional energy impacts your physical energy. Your physical energy impacts your emotional energy and your mental energy. So on the energy spectrum, all are very important: mental, emotional, and physical. So that's it for me today. That is my high performance coaching tip for you to increase your performance outcomes and have a higher quality output in your performance results. If this was helpful, Let me know in the chat or the comments what you're committed to doing, what you're committed to learning, what you're committed to trying, and what ahas or insights you got from this live today, from this video. Thank you for joining, and yes, I'll see you again next week. Have a great day. Bye.